drive, rhythm and music. The music as well in Windeffel, as well in the coming piece, Transatlantic Light, is of Sergio Cervetti. How do you work with him?
Well, Sergio and I have a very unique working relationship insofar as that we work back and forth. The way I start is I usually make about a quarter of the dance so that I have something to show him, and I also have a very clear idea of what direction I want to go in. And then he comes and he looks at it, and maybe he makes some, we talk about different things. He has some ideas. He makes some pieces of music, which he usually brings in the next day because he works on synthesizer and has his studio in his house, which is really a great advantage. Mm-hmm. And or that will lead him to another idea, and he'll bring in a piece of music which has no dance related to it, and we work like that. It's very back and forth, and it's really rewarding. We really have a good time.
Yeah. Transatlantic Light had its world premiere in the Holland Festival on the 17th of June. It was commissioned to you. How did you get the idea of making Transatlantic Light?
Well, actually, Mark Jonkers of the Holland Festival had had some dealings with me before, and one of the many times that I'd been in Holland, and he said I should think about whether or not I wanted to do some kind of a co-commissioning project with the Brooklyn Academy of Music and the Holland Festival, because I'm going to be in the Brooklyn Academy of Music on November 11th in the Opera House. And I thought about it, and I realized that I'd had a very strong response to being in Holland, and I think there are some places where you feel completely and totally comfortable, and it's really hard to do that when you're in a foreign country because, I mean, it's foreign, right? So I had that feeling about Holland, and I wanted to do something that was kind of connective, that dealt with bridging cultural gaps. And I realized that the kinds of things that I was becoming interested in my work was going farther than just associations. My work is becoming more emotional, and it's becoming more instinctive, and it really has more kind of narrative resonances in it. Yeah. And this fit this whole idea of having to kind of put more specific information in along with the kind of emotional associations. So I just started kind of not cataloging my experiences, because the only way I catalog my experiences is to put them into movement. So some people write, they put it on index cards, I put it into movement. Yeah. And that's how it basically got started. And
there is a Dutch influence in it.
Oh, there's a very strong Dutch influence in it. I mean, that's what the piece is about, Transatlantic Light, yeah. Transatlantic connections. I realized that the environment was extremely pervasive here, and that part of that was that I grew up in Arizona, and there's no water in Arizona. It's dry, it's hot, it's minimal. Yeah. Okay, and that's pretty much the opposite of what you have here. I mean, not to get into a cliche, but basically it rains all the time here. I mean, I come 3 times a year, it's always raining. And if it's not raining, it's snowing. Yep. So there's a lot of water environment here, and I think the fact of this atmosphere has something to do with the light. The light is very strange, and it changes all the time. And I wanted to connect to that in some way. So
Transatlantic Light being your last work for the moment. Windeffel was about 5 years ago, I think. And the other work was 10 years ago.
Something in that category.
Something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you will be in Holland working with the National Ballet in the near future too, will you?
Yes, in January I'm going to be doing a project that was done at the Brooklyn Academy of Music called Enclosed Time. It has sets by the architectural firm Architectonica, and it has music by Meredith Monk, Sergio Cervetti, and Elliott Sharp.
Very beautiful.